Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Godzilla Roundtable. This will be our Halloween special for
Oh,
2020.
spooky.
Spooky! Ooh. And this is Mulder, otherwise known as Faye, and I am joined by, as always,
Done here once again.
I'm not Crash. I'm Crush. Alright. It's my Halloween name, I guess.
Well, if we're doing Halloween names, Mulder fits in general.
You can call me. I don't know.
Your
You
name
can
is
call me not
Yeah.
the evil tongue.
The negative verse ton. And today, because this is a spooky Halloween episode, I'm about a spooky story.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Not
The
that.
NES Godzilla Creepypasta.
Hello. Spookiest of all.
Scary story.
Okay, Crash, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Give me a rating out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
4. No, that's just kidding. That's fucking mean. I'd probably give it a 6.
Okay. Ton.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10 too. And I just want to be okay. Here's the one thing that I will say with discussing this. I don't want to be like harsh on this
No.
because this
That's
isn't like an official project or anything. It's
Yeah, at the end
someone
of the day,
having fun.
it's a fans writing. They did it all by themselves. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be a dick about it. Yeah, you're right. So no, it's
Mhm.
for what they did. It was really, really unique and interesting.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And just for some background, this story was inspired by an unmade Godzilla movie. Okay, well, technically unmade. Basically, an American horror company proposed to Toho in the late 70s after the end of the Showa era. What if Godzilla fought Satan?
What if? I wonder.
Yeah. And Toho was like, we're not interested. So it's not technically an unmade Godzilla movie per se, but it was a concept proposed to Toho that Toho
like
turned
Jason
down.
to hell.
Yeah.
Godzilla
And basically that's the concept that really inspired a lot of stuff in this story.
I see that. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Like, for example, the fact that like Red, which is the main a monster of this story, turns into 3 different forms, like the swimming form, the flying form, and then the land form. That was going to be a concept in Godzilla vs. Satan.
For Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about bacon? He's kind of the same.
I can't believe we're inducting Crash into the cult of bacon.
Cult of bacon. One day.
Bacon. Speak his name and he'll be some.
They should have put bacon in, and the guy should have been like, "Who the fuck is this? What the hell's a bacon?"
Hey, kids want to be really scared? If you go in your bathroom, turn the lights off, and say bacon 3 times, nothing will happen.
Bacon will still not be in a Godzilla movie.
But yeah, so that was the basis of this story. It was originally posted on a forum. Let me see, because the Creepypasta wiki said which forum it was originally on.
It's based on a true story.
It was originally posted on the Bog Leech forum, and it's divided up into 8 chapters and 1 epilogue.
It was really fucking long. I was surprised.
Yeah, and it's based on the NES Godzilla game that came out in the 80s called Godzilla Monster.
And I actually heard about that game. We're pretty sure we found about it. Well, I found about it from Angry Video Game.
Yeah,
but when I first watched it, I didn't get it. But like here, I'm just like, apparently the base game had a fuck ton of monsters that weren't even like in any Godzilla movies ever.
Yeah, Ghidorah wasn't in a Godzilla movie. At the time, I don't spoil it, but there were ones that would show up later that weren't in Godzilla movies at the time. Basically, it was just to pad out the roster.
Yeah,
because originally with the game, they were going to have Anguirus and Rodan as playable characters, but they got rushed, so they were never made playable.
Yeah, when the Creepypasta was like, "Oh my gosh, I can play as Anguirus," I was like, "Was he not in the base game? What the?
No,
fuck?
he's not.
Not in what? Or Rodan?
Yeah, Rodan wasn't either.
Why didn't they just take out Octopus Man and put Rodan in?
Because basically in Gears Rodan were going to be player characters, not bosses.
That makes sense. Yeah, they couldn't just.
But yeah, and by that point, I think they got rushed actually. so they had
That
to
makes
leave them cut, unfortunately.
Mhm.
damn.
But yeah, Crash and Ton. Do you have any specific things you'd like to discuss with it?
This creepypasta.
Yeah,
Um,
especially you, Crash, because I know you're like,
I know for a fact that I will never, if a video game starts fucking with me, I will just stop playing it, and then I'll immediately delete it.
just
The
like
only thing
nope.
that the only problem with the Creepypasta was the fact that there was no part where Godzilla turned hyper realistic and started bleeding from his eyes. That's the major flaw with it.
Not enough blood.
Not enough blood. It didn't say I know where you live. It didn't dox him. What the? It should have put his address on there. That'd be fucking spooky.
Ton.
Yeah. So I'm not. I, I have a weird thing with creepypasta where in horror in general stuff, I'm not huge on horror stuff, but I like horror stuff. And for whatever, yeah, for whatever reason, um, Godzilla Creepypasta I discovered once as a kid. I watched like a YouTuber do a video. I wish I remember who, but I forgot to
Mhm.
look up who it was. And he did a reading of it, and it was just super creepy to me. And like,
Mhm.
even now as an adult, it still kind of gives me chills, kind of seeing the creepy art.
Mhm.
It is
What?
weird.
Yeah, I feel like the sprite work is like the most impressive part of it, to be
I
honest.
agree. The sprite work in this one was definitely what stood out to me the most. It was very original and also just very creative. Weird
Mhm.
monsters he came up with, and obviously, sprite work is not easy. That's a very
Yeah,
meticulous type of art to create. So, like, props,
especially
props
because
to him.
he had to do it to match the style of Monsters,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
in and of itself has a very unique look to it.
So, like, super mega props to that. That was very unique.
Hmm
And
Mhm.
they added a bunch of fucking spoiler monsters that I have not seen.
I'm sorry, Crash, I forgot about that.
So I saw Biollante and I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna see that like tomorrow. Oh my god."
And then you did.
And I did, and she was freaking epic. Uh, but one thing I will definitely say is I
Mhm.
liked how this it wasn't just a contained story about a fucking creepy game.
Yeah,
They had a whole the subplot of like his childhood
yeah.
and Melissa. It's definitely not supposed to be funny, but when when he was talking about his childhood with Melissa and how like one day she was just standing there and then she just fucking ran into traffic. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
She's fucking like
Okay.
full sprinted into a car.
Mhm. I guess I'll give not really a hot take, but I know this is something a lot of people feel, and I'll agree. I feel like the game stuff is more interesting than the meta plot, I guess you'd call it. I don't know
Yeah.
what you'd call like the
Uh,
wider plot.
backstory? I don't know.
Yeah,
The context? I don't know. Yeah,
be,
yeah, it's definitely better. I'd say.
because the Godzilla stuff is really fun. Like you can really tell the author's a big Godzilla fan. Like
Mhm.
he knows his stuff with it, and it's really fun. Like how much stuff he slips in reference wise. And then you have the human plot, and it's
Yeah. I guess
Like I said, I thought it was. Oh, sorry, Ten. I'll let you go. I've been talking.
no. Oh, okay. I'll go real quick.
mhm,
Like, I guess I could see that the author whose name I it's right somewhere around here. Oh yeah, Cosby Death. I
mhm,
I guess Cosby Death kind of needed a reason for Zachary, the protagonist, to like keep playing the game.
mhm.
I'd just be like, man, fuck this creepy game and take it to
It,
GameStop or
it's
something.
always really funny to me with creepypastas how that's always like the hardest thing to
I
figure
know.
out.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I mean. Like it's always really funny. He does kind of give a reason why. That was kind of dank. He was like, "This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I have to do this." And I'm like, "Dude, you don't have to. Getting fucking mugged is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't want that to happen. You don't got to stick around for that."
Oh my god, Crash! But you're not wrong.
it was really interesting though the progression of
Mhm,
it. I didn't know the game, so like I had no context for like what to expect
yeah.
from the game, what was different. But what
Mhm,
they did, he definitely did a good job, like kind of exemplifying how weird this was and like stuff that stood out.
Mhm.
and it's also just funny. Every creepypasta game always just turns into like a fucking Telltale video game where he's just like
Yeah.
holding it right and like there's like shit that just goes on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like when he's in a forest and like there's like virtual animals like having a blast and they get like fucking mauled by like raptors and shit. And it's very interesting. All that sprite work.
Mhm.
Like Tiny Mothra, Tiny Godzilla,
Yeah.
Tiny Angus. And what was the fourth monster? His name was like
Solomon.
Carl. Oh yeah, Solomon. That was-
Carl.
I know something. Solomon. Yeah, and
Mhm.
he had a really funny like victory quote. It was like still like
Still the
best
best.
1970.
Still the best. Sorry.
That's so cute. That's like something your like dad would like have like a pic like framed on a wall.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Ted, go on.
Um.
What you're saying about the human plot?
Yeah. Definitely not my favorite part, especially like it gets a little dank at times. But
See, really, for
I,
me. Oh, sorry. Go on. Then I'll say what I have to say.
mm, but what was my thought? Um.
Wait, when was this released, by the way?
Oh, let me look.
I just don't know if it predates Undertale. 'Cause, like,
Oh no, by a lot. Because
Yeah.
because because I read this. I read this in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
the ending is like Undertale. The ending of Undertale. Are you hip, Ton? Someone has to be hip. I can't be the only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I played it too.
Tons played on Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when was this written? Let me find it.
Hmm. This is before the renaissance of Godzilla, I imagine.
Yeah, it was. It was before Godzilla 2014.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was 20. No, it had to be 2012, 2011 or 2012 because I hadn't moved out yet. To New Jersey. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Let me look.
Yeah.
You were saying no, Ton? Sorry.
Oh, I remember what my thought was now.
Mhm.
Though my I do have one complaint. Oh, this is less the human plot, more in the plot period about the ending. Is why the hell is some dumb OC the hero that saves the day?
Mhm.
It
You
should have
mean
been
like
Godzilla. Godzilla should always win every time.
Yeah.
WTF? Godzilla cannot lose. That's like rule number one of the fucking style guy. Come
Mhm.
on.
Broke the rules.
You broke the
Sorry.
rules. That's it. Not canon. Not canon. You're being erased from the Godzilla Wall of Fame. Sorry. But I gotta admit though, the protagonist is kind of a fucking asshole for selling that game online after that. What the hell?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's like things
Can't,
cursed. Don't
you
be
can't just put a
trash.
warning like, by the way, this
See,
game fucking traumatized me.
see,
So.
for me, what really to me gets cheesy is I feel like the ending's a little bit cheesy. Like I think how he gets out of it with the power of love is the
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Remind me of Undertale, but Undertale did it a lot better. And this one was
Mhm.
just very like, it was kind of funny. I can hear the Undertale music playing in the background. It's like, no, do not give up. I will empower you. It's like, fucking like powered up and shit, and they beat the fuck out of Red.
Mhm.
Which I think
Also,
it.
wait,
Mhm.
also, how is this guy so fucking good? This is a game that he hasn't played in years, and then these new monsters show up, and he's always like, that was hard, but I managed to beat it anyways. This hard ass game, how is he so good?
Crash, you are just freaking out over this. This
No,
is
I
super funny.
I guess I thought it was really funny because I guess obviously if like the creepypasta is like I got to the fifth level and then I lost 'cause it's really hard. I'm like
I
that
feel
wouldn't be a
like
very funny. That would be a satisfying end.
I feel like that 4 out of 10 was more accurate to how you feel than the 6 you upgraded it to.
I like I said, obviously it's a nice fan creation. So like I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
just kind of. I'm just taking the piss out of it.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Which is really funny because that 4 out of 10 would make this the thing you've liked the least since we've started everything Godzilla.
Godzilla. Damn. But I give the 2 points are for being a completely original fan work. So like
Yeah.
there's just inherent props there. But yeah, I see what you mean.
The sprite work, though, like I do want to get back to it because it's really impressive. And I think that's a good lead into what did you guys think of Red? Because Red is one of the most iconic parts of this
Red is
Mhm.
creepypasta.
creepy. Creepy.
Oh my
It reminded me like I definitely seen like a picture of like a gross ass like blobfish, and that's what Red reminded me of, like his face.
god.
He was really really creepy, like just
Mhm.
really demonic. It reminded me of Sonic EXE,
Yeah,
He's really nerdy, but yeah, just his whole thing, he just kind of shows up and you have to like run away, like,
yeah.
and I thought that was an interesting thing because I will admit, by the end of it, I was definitely like, oh shit, like the final confrontation with Red did a good job building up Red as like this like weird threat. Like at first, it was just kind of out of like nowhere, weird like monster showed up, but it became a
Hmm.
consistent thing and like a constant threat that was ever changing.
Hmm.
So like Red's presence was definitely really unique, and I liked it. Very scary.
And again with Red, I think Red's a really good adaptation of the idea of the concept of Godzilla versus Satan idea, and
Mhm.
making that like a compelling creepypasta character. I think that's also part of why I think a lot of Godzilla fans enjoyed it,
Mm-hmm.
is because of how tied it is into, to be honest, like Godzilla fan lore trademark. Like it's like it has that vibe, and I think that makes it a lot more enjoyable if you're like tied into that kind of stuff, especially during that era of Godzilla, like that 2004 to 2014, like dead 10 years where nothing came out.
Yeah,
Like it's definitely a product of that, and I think there's something enjoyable about
but that's
that.
nice. Like especially
Mhm.
like here's the thing: when you're in the dead era of a franchise, the only thing keeping it alive are like the fans. Like
Yeah,
it's super appreciated when they're doing stuff like this, being creative. Creating nice fan works. So that's always nice to see. It's cool this person had such an impact on the fandom as a whole with
yeah.
the creepypasta.
Because this creepypasta is still mentioned to this day, and it's been almost 10 years,
Yeah.
practically.
Like that shows did something right. Engaged people.
Hmm. Like, especially because there was going to be a kaiju fighting game that got canceled because of a furry, but that's a whole big other topic.
Excuse me? Like a
Yes,
fan kaiju game?
yeah. Basically, it was going to be made by the people behind the Godzilla games for the. Remember those the Godzilla fighting game that I was talking about? It was going to be made by
Yeah.
those people, and
Unleashed.
they had fans. Yep, and they had fan submissions, and they basically had almost Solomon and Red be in the game just because they were that popular.
Ooh.
Like he didn't even have to submit it. They asked him if they could add them to the game, from what I remember.
And it was just gonna be like original kaijus, I guess, because imagine
Yeah,
licensing would be expensive.
yeah. There's gonna be no Fisher Kaiju, but then it got shut down because of a furry. But that's
But
a whole
can you
other.
tell me what the furry did in one sentence?
Okay, threw a shit fit over how his persona was represented.
There was a persona in the game.
Sea Crash is what I mean. It's like such a rabbit hole with
Come
this
on,
project. But
that is
anyways,
creepypasta.
Ton, did you have any thoughts on Red?
Yeah, I hate Red. He's stupid. I hate
He's
putting his
ugly. He's
ugly
dumb.
face. No, but seriously, it Red's impressive. Like for
Mhm.
what's basically CGI. Oh my god, Brent.
CGI.
God, if what's
Hyper
basically a
realistic.
sprite art
Mhm.
OC monster, um, he's just unsettling. Like you
Yeah.
hate looking at Red. He's ugly, but like the cool kind of ugly, where it's like
Mhm.
you see him and you're just like, what the fuck is that? And I love kind of like the simplicity of his setup. Like first you have kind of like the weird maps, monsters, and glitches and stuff, and then you
Mhm.
just have the simple message of run. And here comes this
Oh
red
god.
hell beast that chases you, and in one hit kills you. If that was like a real game, that's a game that I would never play
Mhm.
again.
I know, right?
And
Man,
I love how he
he's
kind of. Mhm.
Mhm.
I just love how he kind of builds up Red's personality. Like when he escapes and is like "fuck you, Red," and then Red just stares at the screen like, "What did you say?"
fucking what?
And,
Okay,
and
man.
and like I said, Red stuck around a while. Like this was a meme of Godzilla fandom iceberg from September 29th of this
I
year.
love the iceberg meme.
And Red is at the bottom, still representing like really crazy shit. And it's been years since his creepypasta. And everyone who knows it is like, oh fuck, it's Red. We get what that means.
Yeah.
That now I'm hip. Yay. I'm a fan. I love fucking iceberg memes. They were so stupid.
Yeah. And I think also Solomon also made a really big impact too. Like
Mhm.
Solomon's just fun, even if no one has any idea what the fuck anything means in the creepypasta, to be honest.
Did they
Yeah.
ever explain any of that stuff?
Not really. There might have been an explanation to the unfinished sequel that never got finished.
Like, why is he the best? 1975.
Okay, okay. The thing is, he admitted that the year meant nothing. It was just funny.
That's kind of what I got. It seemed like a funny joke. Still the best. 19.
Because people ask, people saw it meant something because Godzilla vs Megalon was 73. So like, is it kind of something? And he was like, and he was like, nah, it was just funny.
You gotta respect that. We just do something for the meme.
That is
And like, I think Salmon also has a really cool design.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
very
kind
like
of.
hellish. It looks like a demon. Very
Yeah,
creepy. I imagine if he was in a Godzilla movie, it'd be a scary Godzilla movie.
yeah. Though Solomon is entirely an original creation of the offer.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
We're,
what I know. Oh,
mhm.
go ahead, Faye.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we're unlike Red, who's inspired by that same concept. Solomon is just entirely like his own thing.
That's cool. Especially if like you have like fans like doing fan art and like including them in their things. That's really
Yeah, like the fact that we almost got Solomon and Red in video games.
found a stupid fucking me. Check this out. Put in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Red is just such a big part of like fandom culture.
Acacius. I don't know how you pronounce that. Acacius? Acacius?
Acacius, I think.
That makes more sense. Acacius. Yeah, and he was freaking powerful and stuff.
Mhm.
That was Melissa's soul.
There's also just something really creepy about the fact that a monster looks into the camera.
Yeah,
That's like
whatever.
unsettling.
Yeah, every time Red looks at the camera, I'm just like, oh fuck, stop it.
Yeah. Oh,
This
was
was
that
the concept. Yeah, that was the concept art for when he was going to show up in that Kaiju game.
interesting?
Okay.
It's good concept art.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I think the creepypasta, like, of course, you can talk about how it's aged also, since it's like 2011, 2012 to now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think creepypasta culture as a whole has really changed. But I think even from that era, where let's be honest, a lot of creepypasta was really lazy and not the best. Like you mentioned, Crash, like Sonic.exe is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like effort, especially with the sprite work and the story, to
For
like
sure.
try to tell something that's not just get scared and spooked.
My favorite creepypasta is Game Boy Creepy Blue Edition. it's a really stupid one. But yeah, like I said, this one stands out because of its bigger use of effort, mainly in the pictures. I feel like it's easy for anybody to like write creepy shit, especially when you're following like a basic formula. But here, he definitely put in all that effort and stuff. Like I said, it must take him
Yeah,
a long time to do that. So, a
yeah.
lot of props there.
What speaking of, because we've been mentioning it, there was going to be a sequel, but unfortunately, it just ended up not being completed.
Mm.
Rip.
Was there any reason? Just lack of motivation, I guess.
Yeah, that's he just kind of lost interest in it, from what I can tell.
Damn.
Mhm.
What would it have followed? Like a different person?
Yeah, yeah, because he posted the chapters as they're coming out, and it followed a different person who got the game from this narrator,
That's
but
awful.
he's not a Godzilla fan at all.
When I got a Godzilla game, so what the fuck is this? I don't get
And
it.
and the Godzilla game is entirely different. It's not like the same game from the first story.
Is it Godzilla Unleashed for the game?
No, it's I think it's actually still the Godzilla NES. It's just a different game that plays.
So is the cartridge like haunted? Didn't he kill it? Didn't he kill Red?
I think so.
So why is it still evil?
It's like Silent Hill, where it's like your personal demon.
Yeah, that's really what it feels like.
I guess, but then I feel like, what was Red just an asshole? Just happened to be there.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
implied that he was who made Melissa go crazy.
Yeah, he was like, I've known you for a long time. He's like, what does it mean? I don't get it. But it's, it's fucking Melissa, and he made her play Frogger.
Oh my god, Crash!
Poor Melissa.
That is really funny, Crash. That is so fucking dark. Holy shit.
It's just how sudden that part, like that paragraph came. I was not expecting it.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a meme, like Oh my god, I forgot who did that. But they did a video about creepypastas, and one of the jokes was like, "There's just a sudden twist about how the cartridge is haunted, has a dead girlfriend in it."
Oh
So
God, my
I
girlfriend.
just do immediately.
The
Like,
cartridge starts bleeding.
mm-hmm,
Well, it reminds me also though of like the fact that Melissa's the angel, and it's like there is definitely some cheesy stuff in there
mm-hmm.
that's very 2011, 2012.
Yeah, but it also kind of adds to its charm because, like nowadays, creepypastas kind of become very formalized and serious. You know, you got your
Yeah.
Slender Man, SCP.
Yeah, so I didn't mind that. It was definitely dank, but like I thought it was kind of funny. Reminded me
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Sonic.
because that's the thing. It has this charm of the older creepypasta style. Before everyone was like, "Wow, I'm gonna write my creepypasta like I'm writing it for like fucking school and it's gonna get graded." So it's like really like,
Oh, strict criteria. It's just him being creative.
yeah.
He's Godzilla as a fan.
And it's also interesting how it started on a forum as well, which is, whoa boy, has it been a while since forums have been relevant.
I know.
Yeah, I miss them.
They had a unique charm to them.
Yeah.
And something else I just wanted to compliment real quick was just alongside the art was just kind of the original monsters that showed. Besides
Yes.
just Red and
Oh
Solomon.
yeah, the random not monster.
Yeah.
there's lots of different boss monsters. Like one that stuck out to me was the Moon Beast,
hmm
which gave me Doctor Who flashbacks. But it falls into the ocean and this giant fucked up thing just pops out of the ocean, starts fighting. It was just cool. There's lots of cool, creepy monsters like
hmm
that, and just real weird alternate dimension worlds. It's just
or like when Mechagodzilla got defeated, he turned into like a fucking giant robot head.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a lot of really creative stuff, and I guess that's also part of it. Is I think it's like one of the first creepypastas to do a. Okay, I'm gonna say something here, like an Evangelion style, just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, symbolism wise, kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
I feel like it's the first creepypasta to do that, but continue on.
Yeah. There's been a lot of interesting concepts here, like the face being a character, just ask these random dank questions like,
hmm
do cows fly? Um, and then you kind of have him die. And I actually forgot the face died. So
Yeah.
when he gets to that screen and the face is just a bleeding skull, I was like, wow, that's freaky.
Yeah.
hmm
And I do love the kind of like almost like Dante's Inferno feel.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of feeling. I think that's on purpose, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's definitely copying that style to something further and further down into basically hell.
Mm-hmm. Then it reaches the bottom where it's just peak messed up.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's creative, like we said.
I have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Only thing that caught me off guard was I was reading and all of a sudden it'd be like part one, and I was just like, damn, this thing is really long.
Yeah, it's huge, which is
I
why
wonder how
I'm
long it
glad.
took. Was it done in pieces or all at once?
It was done in pieces. It would be posted on that forum one at a time.
Wow.
So there was gaps between chapters back in the old days. But
Mhm.
I read when it was done.
It's definitely freaking. Always. Well, the funny thing about the creepypasta is that I guess it's never
Mm.
really about the IP or the characters it's about or it's talking about, because they
Mhm.
play kind of a backseat besides the fact that you play.
Yeah,
Like
but in
Godzilla.
this one, I feel like it's actually a bit more invested than usual.
Yeah, I definitely say for the beginning before it descends into like
Yeah.
hell. But I
Mm.
always thought it was kind of funny.
The also though, like just what comes to mind is the fact that even after it gets crazy, he's still fighting like Godzilla villains.
Mhm.
Yeah, like when you play that one level when the JSDF showed up, he was just like, "Wow, normal
Wow.
enemies."
I know he's really surprised. I thought it was funny at the end when he was fighting Red. He was like, "Oh no, Godzilla is dead. It's on my hands." I thought that was funny.
Mhm.
Oh
Like,
my god, Crash! You are being so dank to this poor story.
no, it was really entertaining.
I'm joking around.
I love taking the piss out of stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that Final Fight is so dark. Like,
Yeah,
right, fucking eat spots.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. Mothra is kill. No.
Mothra is dead, pensive.
Offense.
Mhm.
That's why Mothra has not come back. Since.
Anyways, do you guys have anything else to add about the creepypasta?
Um,
It was creepy, but I was not eating pasta.
yeah,
I was hungry.
spooky if you want a good.
Yeah, it definitely fit that. It
Mhm.
was definitely creepy, definitely spooky, definitely Godzilla.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it has to. And if you want to really invest in like a really interesting piece of like fandom lore, I think it's worth sitting down for a few hours if you want a nice creepy story that also gives you insight to a lot of fandom in jokes that still remained and memes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the thing about creepypastas. Like, you know, it's it's just a part of internet culture that it's really unique to our generation.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's kind of the shared experience of weird shit on the internet. It's creepy.
Yeah,
mm. That reminds me. Whenever we talked about the weird fucking questionnaire guy,
yeah.
he's like, "Do you like beating women?" I was like, "What kind of question is that?"
It's really dank.
Mhm.
It's spooky face. Reaction face number 15.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Halloween. Godzilla is intrinsically tied to Halloween because he is a monster.
Yep. Have a safe, happy Halloween.
2020 has been a weird year. It's
Weird
not
year.
done yet. We're
Yeah.
almost there, though. So keep going. We'll persist together. Almost there. A few months, and then we'll hit 2021. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. For context, this episode has been recorded between Biollante and versus King Ghidorah. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule, just a tad.
Just a bit. We gotta be ready. But
Yeah.
yeah, have a spooky time on Halloween. Be safe,
Mhm.
social distance, and all that jazz. Um, 2020. Let's make it through the year.
Yep, we'll get through it. Have a fun and safe Halloween.
All right, everyone, have a happy Halloween from all of us here at Fears, Futures, and Fossils, and have fun.